Dude, I remember when I was 13 and I wanted lucid dreams really bad and I was try-harding at lucid dreaming. I remember I always used to stay up at like 2 a.m. reading all these old lucid dreaming websites and old lucid dreaming forums. And yeah, even though I was trying to lucid dream, I would literally stay up till 2 a.m. reading fucking lucid dreaming websites because my sleep schedule was just trash, bro. My sleep schedule was fucked. So I'd actually spend more time just staying up reading websites instead of like actually lucid dreaming. But that's not the point. Anyways, I always stayed up till like 2 a.m. reading lucid dreaming websites, and there was one lucid dreaming forum like where people could post kind of like Reddit, you know. There was one lucid dreaming forum called Dreamviews, dreamviews.com. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was like a lucid dreaming forum that's still around now actually, where people can just post lucid dreaming advice and lucid dreaming techniques, give people tips, post their dream stories, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of like big before lucid dreaming Reddit and lucid dreaming YouTube and before TikTok was even a thing. So there's lots of posts on there from like early 2000s. It's been around for like a long fucking time. So since this lucid dreaming website had been around for ages, there was lots of like interesting lucid dreaming stories, and people would share lots of interesting tips in their dream journals and shit like that. And there was one guy I came across who kind of had like very interesting lucid dreaming stories and tips and stuff, but his story kind of was disturbing, you know. It was kind of weird. I'll tell you the whole thing, and if you don't believe anything I'm telling you, then I'll leave all the links to all the posts and threads and shit in the description. But trust me, I'm a better storyteller. Just listen to me tell the story. It'll be more entertaining. Okay. So I remember, fuck my camera. Okay. I remember reading all these posts and all these stories, and I remember coming across one guy called Mylinus or Mylenus. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'll just call him Miles. For the like whole video, I'll just call him Miles. I know it's not his name, but like I can't pronounce his fucking name, so it'll just be annoying if I try and do that. So I'll just call him Miles. So I found this guy called Miles, and I kind of found him in a thread, which is like a post talking about time dilation. So that time dilation is tricking your brain basically into being in a lucid dream for extended periods of time. So, for example, if you have a dream, or if you're asleep for like 30 minutes, but it kind of seems like you were in the dream for like 2 hours, that's like time dilation. So I found this guy Miles in a thread talking about time dilation. But recently, since his whole story interested me, I kind of tracked down all his posts and whatever. So I'll start at the beginning, bro. His first post, this guy called Miles, his first post was just like an introduction. Him just introducing himself to the site. He was talking about how he was about to turn 21 and how he's kind of been antisocial and alone all like his whole life. He was talking about how he like failed to join the Navy, blah, 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 all this kind of boring stuff. But was his introduction, which was his first post on Dreamviews, this dream forum, he was talking about how he could override his senses. And what I mean by that, he was claiming that he could choose what to see and what to feel and what to taste in real life. So I'm not talking about a lucid dream here, bro. This guy Miles in his introduction was claiming he could choose to override his senses in the real world. So of course that kind of sounds crazy, kind of like, I guess you could call that mentally ill. Isn't that like what schizophrenic people do? I don't know, bro. But like, that's kind of crazy, being able to choose what to see, basically hallucinate in the real world. So that's kind of crazy, but at the same time, he kind of seemed coherent. Like, he didn't seem too crazy the way he typed or anything. After that, after this introduction post, he actually made a tutorial on what he was talking about. He made a tutorial called Advanced Vision Control, which I don't remember the specifics, but the whole tutorial was him teaching you how to override your senses and like start seeing shit that wasn't actually there and hearing things that weren't there in the real world. And he posted it to this lucid dreaming forum because he claimed that this could help you with dream control, because he claimed that if you could control your senses in the real world, then you could easily control your senses in the dream world. And This sounds crazy, but not gonna lie, of course I fucking tried it. Come on. I was 13, so I saw this tutorial. If I could override my senses in the real world, what if I could like hallucinate some hot fucking woman or something? That's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking this guy's schizophrenic, this guy's fucking crazy. I was thinking I need to learn what he's talking about because I was 13. I was like horny as fuck, bro. So I was thinking I had to learn what this guy was talking about. So I tried this tutorial. I don't really remember the details, but nothing happened. I didn't learn anything. I never ended up being able to like hallucinate anything. And I don't think I've ever met anyone who actually got good results from his tutorial, his advanced vision control tutorial. So yeah, I don't really know what that was about. I think it was kind of complicated, didn't really make much sense. So yeah, I don't know. So he started making like a couple more posts. I'm kind of fucking looking at my notes because sorry if it looks like I'm reading off a script because I'm literally reading off a fucking script because I can't remember all the posts he made. My point is that he made a fuck ton of posts about lucid dreaming and stuff like that, but it was kind of like it would kind of take way too long for me to get into every single post he made because he made a lot of posts on like lucid dreaming tutorials and shit like that. He also made I think he made a separate post on time dilation as well. So he had all these techniques for staying in a dream for a long time or kind of tricking your brain into thinking it stayed in a dream for a long time. So on these kind of posts he made about time dilation in a lucid dream, he was making claims that he could spend years in a dream, and he was making claims that he had dreams where it felt like he'd spent many years, hundreds of years in a dream. And once again, I don't remember all the details, but I remember him talking about in one lucid dream, he used some time chamber. Look, I don't watch anime, but I'm pretty sure it's from anime, if I remember correctly. Maybe if you watch anime, bro, you know what I'm talking about. But he was talking about some fucking time chamber or something. He was talking about some fucking time chamber that he went to in his lucid dreams, and every time he went in this time chamber, it like made it seem like he was spending years in a lucid dream or whatever, something like that. And then in between all these posts as well, he was making like kind of other posts. There was some about how he was on a couple of drugs for sleep, which he claimed that his psychiatrist or doctor or something prescribed him. So at the same time, he was taking some drugs to help him sleep. And he also claimed, I don't know if I told you this before, bro. He also claimed that he was lucid in every single dream. I'm getting all this information from kind of different posts he made. I don't know, like I don't remember the specific ones they were from. I'm just collecting all this information, bro. I looked through like all his fucking posts, each one, and got all this info. And like some of it I remember, some I found out like today when I was looking at his posts. But he claimed he was lucid in every dream, and he claimed he had that since he was like a kid. So essentially he was having like 5 lucid dreams a night or more, if what he said was true, and he was having every dream as a lucid dream. And he claimed it had just always been like that since he was a child. So I don't know what to make of that. I don't really know what to make of any of this shit, bro. You need to let me know. But so I was reading about this. So he was on some sleep drugs, and he also made a post. There was one time he made a post about how he wanted to have a nightmare that he never woke up from. I remember this very clearly. He wanted to experience a nightmare so scary and not wake up from it. And in the same post, he was complaining that every time he tried to have a nightmare on purpose, he wanted a nightmare. He was complaining every time he tried to have a nightmare that he woke up. So all these weird posts, all these kind of strange posts kind of sound like they're from like a crazy person or something like that, right? So all these crazy posts kept building up, and I remember reading one of the moderators on the website was saying he didn't actually believe anything Miles was saying. And I'm pretty sure he was a moderator or an admin or something. He made a whole reply to a comment saying he thought it was all just fantasy, and he didn't know Miles was actually being serious the whole time. So I'm not really sure what to make of it, because he could have been like kind of fantasizing about everything, but at the same time his posts were really in depth. Like if you read them, they seem really like realistic. It doesn't seem like he's making it up. They seem very in depth. It doesn't seem too crazy, but at the same time the concepts he was talking of are a little weird, and he does seem a kind of weird in the head, like fucking talking about hallucinating and shit, and like making himself hallucinate. So I don't know what to think about that. But there was one thread on the forum which was about the limitations of dream control. Miles didn't even make this thread. Some random guy made it, just talking about like what you can't really do in a lucid dream, or like what the limits are. And I remember in this thread, he posted a reply saying he was going to leave tomorrow and he didn't know if he would come back, or he didn't plan on coming back. He said, "I'll be leaving tomorrow and I likely won't be returning." That was his exact words on this post. And in the same comment he made, he said that he wasn't suicidal. He wasn't going to kill himself. What he was going to do was attempt the eternal dream. He said he was going to attempt to dream forever and dream for eternity, right? This same day he made his last post in 2014. This was his last ever reply on his account. If you look at his account, there is never a reply after this post I'm about to tell you. This was the same day as he said he was going to try and live the eternal dream, or dream the eternal dream tomorrow, and he wasn't sure if he'll be returning. In his last post after that one, in another whole thread, he said he wrote a will to his family and friends just in case, and he said he wasn't sure what was going to happen to his body. After that, he said he could go into a coma or he could die. He wasn't sure what was going to happen. He said he could die or go in a coma, but he wasn't sure. But the last thing he said was that if that doesn't happen, he could send consciousness up in his body to replace him. He said he could try and stay in the dream forever. He stays in the dream, but he sends a little part of his consciousness up to his body to control his body while he stays dreaming forever. And there were that was his last ever comment, bro. There were a few other people in this thread replying, talking about that's kind of weird, like stay safe, don't do that, that's kind of stupid. But he never made a post ever again after that day, 2014. So this guy had a long history of very strange posts, seemed to be a very good lucid dreamer if everything he was saying was true. And he claimed he was going to try and have an eternal dream that lasted forever. And he wanted to remain in the dream while he sent some part of his consciousness up to control his body while he stayed dreaming. So, bro, that's kind of weird. I don't know if that's disturbing. But like, let me know what you think of that, because I wanted to tell you this because I came across this when I was 13 and I've kind of remembered it all these years because that was so fucking interesting. Because if he was telling the truth this whole time, that's kind of crazy. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about what your mind would be capable of if he was telling the truth. So let me know if you think that's like real or if you think he was just bullshitting, bro. And as I said, I'll leave all the threads and posts in the description if you want to read them. It's kind of fucking boring to read them all through probably because I'm a good storyteller, bro. But like, let me know if you think this is true or if he was bullshitting. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that, bro. That'd be much appreciated. And join the Discord. Check out the Lucid Dreaming app in the description. Love you.